Show. Just like that, we've got game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Knicks hosting the Cavaliers after an epic game 1 comeback win. Knicks fans out in full force. See if they could do it again. Late in the first quarter, Karl-Anthony Towns drives inside, gets the lay to go over Jarrett Allen. Then Towns forces his way in the paint. Tough 2 over Allen again. Knicks trailing by 1. Yeah, Cat likes that. Evan Mobley driving inside, puts it in reverse for the dunk. Mobley getting it done, had 10 points in the first quarter as the Cavs were up 22-21. Late in the quarter, now tied at 24, Donovan Mitchell, step back 3, bucket. Cavs led by that many at the end of the first. To the second we go. Middle of the second, game tied at 36. Brunson pulls up mid-range. Can't get it to fall, but Mitchell Robinson, what a teammate, there for the tip-in. Knicks up 2. And Josh Hart in the corner, 4-3, splash, make that 5. 36 seconds left in the half, Knicks up. Brunson drawing the extra defender, so you know what? Let's send it out to Josh Hart. Knicks up by 4 at the half. To the third quarter we go when things really get going for the Knickerbockers. Mitchell misses the open 3. Knicks in transition. Hart throws down a dunk. Yamming on him. Madison Square Garden crowd likes that. About a minute later, Brunson hits the B button, spin move, jumper. Knicks on a 7-0 run. Next possession, Mobley gets it poked away in transition. Hart finds Mikal Bridges, lays it in, make that 9-0. Chalamet likes that. Brunson driving, kicks it out to Hart, 4-3. Boom, goes the dynamite 14-0 run now. Off the inbounds, Hart, in the esteemed words of our friend and colleague Mike Breen, bang! That caps an 18-0 run, the Knicks' longest unanswered scoring run this postseason. Knicks up by 15 after 3. Cavs with the steal off the inbounds in the fourth. On the other end, Jalen Tyson gets the layup to fall. And the Cavs are chipping away at it. Down 85-78, and James Harden passes to Mitchell. Floater, that's good. He had 26 points. And it's a ball game in the fourth. Hart finds Bridges. Corner 3. That's good. Knicks up 13. Crowd's loving it. Brunson, mid-range, bucket. Hitting the shot off balance over James Harden. And the Knicks up 97-58. Now late in the game, Knicks up big. Josh Hart, spin move. Hits the J. He had a playoff career high 26 points and gets a standing ovation. Take a listen. The Knicks fans. Knicks in 4. Well, they're halfway there. They've got the first 2, taking game 2, 109-93. Mike Brown, what do you say?
One thing we told our team is they're very good at home. They were down 0-2 against Detroit. And again, Cleveland is well coached. Kenny's an excellent coach. And they have a load of talent on that team. We know those guys are hungry and they don't quit. So we know this game 3 is going to be tough in Cleveland because they're coming.
In our minds, it's 0-0. We got to win the next game. It's the most important game of the year. And that's how we treat it. We're hungry for the opportunity to go out there and play basketball at the highest level. But we also understand that, you can never be satisfied in these positions and in the playoffs. So the mindset's going to continue to be 0-0 every single time we step on that court.
The Knicks are winners of 9 straight games, extending their playoff franchise record. They're the 13th team in NBA history to go on a 9-game win streak in a single postseason. And 11 of the previous 12 made the NBA Finals. 7 of them, Phil, won it all.
We just didn't make shots. I loved everything about the looks we got. And some days you just miss the open ones. We got great looks. Sometimes we're in and out, sometimes they're short. Offensively, I'm not worried at all. We did a really good job getting to the paint, trying to find guys, and that's why our assist total was low. It's just because we couldn't make shots, and it was everybody. So nothing to hang our head about. They protected home court, and we've seen this before, so we gotta go get game 3.
We didn't shoot the ball well. I thought we had a lot of good looks. A lot of good looks from 3. Good looks at the rim. I thought our process was right. Took care of the ball. Offensive rebounded. I think wasn't a great shooting night. At the end of the day, you got to put the ball in the hole. Tonight we didn't.
Stephen A. Smith joins us now on SportsCenter. Stephen A., your Knicks take Game 2, making a statement with what seems like the pivotal moment of the game, that 18-0 run to start the third quarter. What did you notice about that dominating stretch that helped them get the win?
Well, I would love to tell you that Josh Hart had to hit 2 3-pointers. Jalen Brunson hit another one. Karl Anthony Towns closed the quarter with a 3. You look at those kind of things. The Knicks' fluid ball movement, shooting 51% from the field, all of those things would stand out, and they would speak very favorably about the New York Knicks. But to be quite honest with you, that wasn't what was on my mind. I was incredibly alarmed, flabbergasted as to how anemic Cleveland's defense was. Did you see how wide open Josh Hart was on those 2 3-pointers? Look at that right there. There's nobody in the vicinity, for crying out loud. You're looking at Mikal Bridges come down for a layup. It's uncontested. You're just looking at Cleveland and like, hello, do you not know that this is the Eastern Conference Finals, that, you're 4 wins away from going to the NBA Finals? Where's the level of urgency and what have you? You didn't see that from Cleveland at all. So the New York Knicks were doing what they wanted to do. They turned on the afterburners. Jalen Brunson had 14 assists. He got a lot of people involved because the only adjustment they seemed to make was sending double teams his way. So he was perfectly content with being a facilitator as opposed to a scorer. But Cleveland's defense was very, very alarming. And to be quite honest with you, just an absence of intelligent basketball. Evan Mobley had 14 points in the first half. He didn't shoot in the second half. Y'all ain't get him the ball. It makes no sense whatsoever to see what's transpiring with Cleveland. They look like a team that doesn't belong. They attempted 80 shots and only assisted on 15. You can't make this up. It's really, really shocking at how anemic they look. But the Knicks exploited it and took advantage like a good team is supposed to.
So, Stephen A., the Cavs have a terrible fourth quarter, cost them Game 1, a terrible third quarter, cost them Game 2. Going back to Cleveland, down 2-0, but they are 6-1 at home in these playoffs. What has to change for this thing not to be a wrap by middle of next week?
Well, a couple of things. They got to remember that they're supposed to have a basketball IQ. Play smart basketball. Make sure you get the ball to the hot hand. Make sure Donovan Mitchell's feeding off that crowd and he's being the tremendous player that we know he can be. If Harden ain't the one that's going to get it done for you, but you see Evan Mobley is making some noise, make sure you get him the damn ball. He can play. He's not a scrub. He gets an NBA check too. Get him the ball. But they've got to defend. They certainly have to upgrade their defensive intensity. They have to play with a level of urgency, which I have no doubt they will do in front of that home crowd in Cleveland. They recognize what's at stake. The crowd is certainly not going to sit idly by and watch them be as pathetically lackadaisical as they were in certain parts in Game 2. So I think you can see a heightened level of energy, certainly a heightened level of efficiency on the part of a Donovan Mitchell. If James Harden ain't the one to get it involved with you, get Jared Allen and obviously Evan Mobley involved and go that way. But they know that they don't want to face the brink of elimination. Nobody's come back from a 3-0 deficit. They're not going to be the first team to do that. They know they have to win Game 3, otherwise bring out your broomsticks. In all likelihood, they're going to get swept. So there is a level of urgency. I expect them to play with it, but it doesn't mean much if you don't attach an IQ to that level of urgency. You got to play smarter basketball than we've seen them play, and they certainly have to play tenacious defense in order for them to pull out a game in this series.
A pivotal Game 3 that'll be Saturday in Cleveland. Stephen A. Smith, thanks as always.
Nope.
Back on SportsCenter on a night that the New York Post never disappoints with a back page, a work of Hart.
Oh, bravo.
We love a good pun here. Josh Hart getting it done. Listen, he didn't play in the last 9:59 of Game 1, and here's what he had to say about not being a part of that comeback.
At the end of the day, for me, I don't have an ego to it. I put the success of the team over the success of myself any day.
Success of the team was there, but he made his presence felt in this one. Middle of third quarter, Knicks up 11. Cavs leave Hart open behind the arc, and he just knocks down the wide open tray. Then a minute later, another one at the top of the key. Knicks lead by 18. That's part of an 18-0 run. Shortly after, Hart corner three, wide open. Bucket, 7 of 28 on open three-pointers in the first 11 games of the postseason. He was 5 of 11 on open triples in game 2. Now Hart spins inside. The floater bounces in. He has a playoff career-high 26 points as the Knicks win game 2. Mike Brown, what does he remind you of?
My time with Andre Iguodala in Golden State helped a lot because they're different players, but they're similar players because Andre's edgy too. And Andre's a hell of a player. I mean, he's a great player, and he does so many little things that if you're not careful, you won't appreciate them. And it's the same with Josh.
Iggy was first off a hell of a player. I don't know if I'm at that level, but I just try to go out there and just play my game. I'm never a huge analytics guy. At a certain point, they're a lamppost or a drunk person. You can lean on them, but it won't get you home. So at a certain point, you got to have a good feel for the game.
Oh my God, bro!
I'm not gonna lie, that was Gerald Wright, his quote, man. So shout out Jay Wright.
Like a drunk person, you can lean on it, but it won't get you home. I'm here for it. Josh Hart was getting it done on both ends of the court on Thursday night. He had a team-high 26 points and was responsible for 43 of the Knicks' 109 points. Defensively, he held the Cavs to 25% shooting and held Donovan Mitchell to just 1 of 6 from the field. Danny Green joins us now from MSG. Danny, impressive performance from Josh Hart, a playoff career-high 26 points. This after not being on the court in Game 1 during that Knicks comeback. What impressed you most about what you saw from Hart on this night?
I mean, he did a lot tonight. It wasn't just his shooting. It was more his rebounding, deflections, defensive activity, but his mental, ability to, stay locked in. Last game he didn't have a great game. I'm sure he saw a lot of the stats that they were saying how much better they were with him off the court and all the plus and minus negatives. So to take that, use it as a chip on his shoulder, and come back and produce the next night shows a lot of character, shows a lot of heart, no pun intended, and a lot of mental fortitude. So he came in with a chip on his shoulder and proved the fans and everybody else wrong that he's not the guy that you need to take out the lineup. So, but also the Knicks have proved that they can win in many different ways. There's multiple ways to skin a cat for them. They got guys like Deuce that can win games for you, Shamet, Josh Hart can knock down shots, and of course Brunson and Cat. But OG, Mikal Bridges, they have so much depth, and Josh Hart proved that tonight as well.
Danny, this is the wrong duo to not intend puns. Feel free to lean into them next time. Let's lean over to the West. Tied best of 7, moving to San Antonio with 2 notable injury updates heading into Friday's Game 3. Shams Charania reports Thunder wing Jalen Williams is day-to-day with a hamstring injury. He'll be reevaluated before tip Friday. J-Dub, one-time All-Star, played just 7 minutes in Game 2 before exiting stage left. Williams already missed 6 games this postseason with hamstring issues. And the Spurs have listed rookie Dylan Harper as questionable after he left Game 2 with right adductor soreness. 20-year-old Harper scored 24 for San Antonio in Game 1. That win before exiting Wednesday in the third quarter. De'Aaron Fox hasn't yet appeared in this series, also listed as questionable for Game 3. All right, Danny, a few injuries of note there. Which team is better equipped to overcome those potential absences?
Well, that all depends on Fox, right? If Fox is healthy, I think San Antonio is pretty equipped. But OKC has the advantage because they've been playing without J-Dub for most of the season, and they're used to it. A.J. Mitchell has to step up now. Jared McCain, Kaysen Wallace, Alex Caruso's been playing really well. So they're used to playing without Jalen Williams. And that adductor, I didn't know that was the news. That's something serious that you don't want to play with. I've had an adductor injury before. So both these guys mean a lot to their teams. But I think OKC is more used to playing without their star than San Antonio is with that bench production of Dylan Harper. And he's been a star in the playoffs for them. So with him missing, it's going to be a lot of offensive load on Stephon Castle. And, of course, hopefully De'Aaron Fox comes back, because if not, then they got to find ways to not turn the ball over and take care of it against this OKC defense.
Yeah, the OKC depth on display. They had 11 steals just by bench players in Game 2. Danny
is getting more blinding in terms of the assemblage of stars because, man, the city is 2 games away from the finals. This New York team, I think, expected to win the series. They were favorites. It would have been suffocating pressure if they dropped Game 1, but they didn't. What did you see from the home team tonight? What kind of freedom?
Yeah, so this Knicks team really does have a lot going for it. They are not a perfect team. They were not the best team in the NBA during the regular season, but they have a lot going for it. And one of the things that they can do is play different ways. They have different players who can do different things. And so Jalen Brunson crushes the Cavs in game 1. So the Cavs come back naturally and try to clamp down on him. They totally don't guard Josh Hart. And this was one of the reasons why he got benched at the end of game 1, because the Knicks weren't surviving well when they were going 4-on-5. This game, they go to him, and he crushes the Cavs with an all-time terrific performance from him, not only with the 26 points, but also with 7 assists. So not only did Brunson end up with 14 assists, one of his best assist games ever, but he got a bunch of hockey assists because he was kicking it to Hart, and the Cavs would scramble to him, and he would kick it onward. This is what really good teams do, what championship teams do. Beat you in different ways. The Harden Brunson thing is still a problem for the Cavs, but it was Josh Hart that knocked them off tonight.
This Cleveland team knows the assignment, right? They have to win a game in the Garden, and they let one that they had in their grasp slip through their fingers. They have been great at home. They did erase a 0-2 deficit already. What's your sense of how they respond as this series pivots to Cleveland over the weekend?
Well, you know, Kenny Atkinson likes to focus on process. He likes to think about stuff like shot quality. He will probably say after this game that they did have good process, that they got a lot of open shots, that they just missed them, and that if they get those same open shots in games 3 and 4, they could come back here in game 5 and have it 2-2. That could be true. But the truth is their margin for error against a team like the Knicks is just much smaller. And even though Donovan Mitchell has played fine, he has not played special. And you're going to need special to win in the Garden. And so they're going to go back in a situation where they got to win 4 out of 5. And I think the odds of that are very long. And I suspect, you never know in the NBA, but I suspect game 1 is going to stick in their minds for a long time.
I completely agree with that. The Donovan Mitchell applauding to his team at the end, that's leadership, but they know in their heart of hearts, look, we had the win we had to get, and we squandered it. And I just wonder how you flush that entirely. Just a final thought on this Knicks team, because I agree, look, they weren't the best team in the league, but all they have to be is the best team in June if they get there. Just imagine for me the city, the Garden, and this Knicks team in a final series. What might that look like?
So this isn't just about this year. This fan base started falling in love with this team 2 years ago when they made that first playoff run. And then last year when they upset the Celtics. And then really this is the culmination of a multi-year stage to get close to it. And the city loves the way they play. This is not a mercenary team. They have built this team methodically. They have their 10,000 hours in with this group. They've watched them have a bunch of comeback victories. Scott, they've got 4 20-point comeback wins in the playoffs in the last 2 years. All of that has built this incredible faith in this roster. You feel the connection in the building. You feel the connection in the city. This is something, look, around here, they talk about 1994 and grown men get tears in their eyes and look up to the ceiling. That's building with this unit. I don't know if they're going to win it, but you can feel that what's happening now is going to be celebrated for a long time. Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges are going to be sitting courtside here in 20 years, no matter how this season ends up.
About that, and this is sort of, I don't know, this is a bit of psychological study here. If, and I underline if, they win 2 more games and they await the winner of the Spurs and the Thunder, could all of that, could the city, could all the alumni, could it become a lot to deal with, right? It's not just the 4 games you got to win. It's the ghosts, and it's how desperately the alums want to see this group do it. Feels like a lot to me.
I don't think so. Because I think there's a pureness to this. If they got there once or twice and didn't get it done, they would feel the pressure. And really, let's just be 100% real. The pathway to putting a banner up there is to win this series in a sweep. To go to Cleveland, handle your business, and then watch the Spurs and Thunder beat the hell out of each other and watch the injury report grow and try to, I mean, that's just the real part. So really, and they'll never say this out loud, Jalen Brunson will never say anything even mildly disrespectful, but in their heart of hearts and in their brains, this is what they think that the pathway is. If they want to win it, they need the 6 more wins. That's probably the pathway. So they go to Cleveland this weekend with that on their mind.
They've been great on the road, but Cleveland's been great at home. It's a proud Cavs team. I expect to see them fight with all their gusto on Saturday night. Brian, I appreciate the time. Look forward to continuing the conversation. 2-0 series lead And, Tim, the connectivity of the Knicks defense felt like a big part of this night. Cleveland started hot from three, then couldn't buy one. Am I onto something? Is the Knicks defense the reason why they won this game tonight?
Knicks defense has turned into an elite defense here in the postseason, and they adjusted some things during the course of the year. You know, their efficiency of their offense, Scott, has helped that defense because when you're taking the ball out of the net a lot, that's what you're going to get. Defensively, you can set up, you can see the ball in front of you, and you can execute the game plan, and you get the appropriate matchups that you want. Their offense has helped to a great degree. There's no doubt that the Cleveland Cavaliers' three-point shooting failed them in this game because that's the shot you're going to have to make if the Knicks are going to be this connected off the dribble in the way they're going to protect the lane. You're going to have to knock down your share of three-point shots, and tonight just wasn't Cleveland's night. And on the other end, Josh Hart had an answer for that with 5 of his own because Cleveland decided to leave him most of the night, and he made him pay.
Brunson was ordinary to below average in terms of his scoring. I think he had 17 against Atlanta, but that was the game they won by like 50 points. But he had a career high in the playoffs in assists. If you tell Cleveland and Coach Atkinson, hey, he's going to get 19, they're going to feel good about their chances. How did Brunson facilitate and put others in a position to hurt Cleveland?
He recognized immediately the shift, and the shift was this. They were going to rotate multiple bodies to his side of the floor. They let him play, obviously, one-on-one in that fourth quarter of game one late. And I think now the adjustment, and he was waiting for it. He was prepared for it. He wasn't as aggressive looking for his offense. He wanted to accept two because that's the responsibility of a great player and then move it out of there. Tonight was his job as a playmaker. He picked them apart. He ran the team. They had 7 turnovers as a group. A lot of that falls on the shoulders of Jalen Brunson, getting them properly spaced, reading where the traffic was coming from, and then delivering the ball where it was supposed to go to make the game very easy in 4-on-3s and 3-on-2s out of those traps.
I'm a big fan of Donovan Mitchell across the board. Everything about his constitution. At the end of this game, Tim, he's applauding to his bench. He's giving his guys a look like, we're all right, we're all right. They have to know, and their heart of hearts, Tim, we have to win a game in the Garden to win this series, and we had a 22-point lead in game one and we lost it. I'm not saying they can't win this series, but when you go back home knowing what you let get away in game one, in your heart of hearts, do you have to feel like, I don't know how we win this series if you're the Cavs?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of been my mentality since they let that slip away. Scott, you said it. It's a math problem, right? You got to get to 4. And for the Cavs, they had a different problem coming in. They had to win a road game. The Knicks don't. And the Cavs had a road win right there in front of them. We're not able to close the deal. So I was really curious to see how they came out tonight. I expected the Knicks to be much better offensively early in the game because it took them a while to find their rhythm after that layoff. And they were better offensively in the first half. But there, you look up, and the Cavs are right there. So I think they took the first punch. Emotionally, they were in the right place. But once the run came, that's when you kind of felt a little bit that loss of game one carried over in that moment. Were they going to be able to answer that run or stop the bleeding if the Knicks were able to get separation in the second half and the Cavs weren't? And they still haven't solved the Jalen Brunson riddle because he went ISO mostly in the fourth quarter overtime of game one, got a win. Tonight, a lot of traffic. He picks them apart. They haven't figured out that end of the floor. That's the biggest challenge for the Cavs, as well as you have to get better shooting out of your role players around the star guards. And Sam Merrill and Max Strus, guys like that, you know how much I appreciate what they do.
Of course.
The way I made my living. And I expect them to be better at home because those guys are too elite, particularly Merrill, who had great looks in the first half and could have made a big difference. I know he's beating himself up a little bit. Those guys will be better in Cleveland. I expect the offense to be better. How do they solve this Jalen Brunson problem? That's still an issue for the Cavs.
Cleveland has been fantastic at home. They are going to have to be. New York now just 2 games away.